Hey everyone, welcome back to Mom's Changed Home. Today I am going to make a very simple but delicious cranberry jalapeno relish. And I've got a couple bags of cranberries that I froze last year. I put them in this pot, and I'm going to add 1 bag of fresh cranberries. That's 3 bags. This is going to make probably 2 large servings for your family. And so we're going to get started, and what we're going to do today, we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to add orange marmalade. And so with that said, we're going to cut back the sugar. It calls for 3/4 of a cup of sugar for each bag of cranberries. So that would be about a 1.5 cup of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. We're going to try to cut this back. Now I know cranberries are tart, so you do want to cut the tart from them. So we are going to add some orange zest and some orange juice, some orange marmalade, a little bit of jalapeno for a little zing, which is a little different from most recipes. And then we're going to add sugar, but not as much because we are adding the orange marmalade and there's a lot of sugar in there. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This is 2 bags of frozen cranberries that I froze and I've let them thaw out. And I'm going to add 1 bag of fresh cranberries. I've added the 1 bag of fresh cranberries on top of the 2 that were pre-frozen, and they've been thawed. So we're going to get ready with the rest of the ingredients, and I'll be right with the ingredients we're going to use. We're going to use some orange juice, some orange marmalade, and I bought, it's probably one of the cheaper brands just because I'm using it for this. It's marmalade jelly. You can use jam, a jalapeno, an orange, and I'm going to use the zest of this. We're going to keep that, and 1/2 cup of sugar. I'm not using that much sugar because I'm going to use about 1/2 jar of this relish. Now I have made this in the past with apples, pecans, and all that, but I think the simpler the better, and this is really good. But I think that adding the zing of the jalapeno is going to make this really tasty and really different. It's going to just add a little zing to the sweet, and we're not going to make this so sweet that you can't eat it, because typically we like sweet cranberry sauce, but it just can be overpowering with too much sweet. So we're going to add 1/2 jar of this, which is a 18-ounce jar, so about 9 ounces of the orange marmalade jelly, whatever you have, and 1/2 cup of sugar. With the 3 bags of cranberries, you typically are going to add 1.5 cups of sugar. We are only going to add 1/2 cup. So we'll be right back, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to add into this. About this tool, I'm doing this by myself today, so the video is going to be a little awkward. But this is a plane. It's what they call a grating plane, and we are going to grate most of this orange. You do not want the pith, which is the white part of the orange, because it will be kind of sour. So you don't want that. And we're going to add 1/2 cup of orange juice in half this jar, and we're only going to use about 1/2 of this jalapeno because I'm not sure of the heat level. But this plane, this grating plane, will work really wonders for this orange or lemons or lime, whatever you prefer to use. I've got 1/2 cup of sugar. I have the rind of 1 orange, and instead of using 1/2 of that jar of orange marmalade, I've got 2 heaping tablespoons in here. I have a feeling it's going to be too much sweet, so we put 2 heaping tablespoons, not 1/2 the jar. So we change that up just a little bit, and we are going to go and cut our jalapeno and put that in here. And let me just tell y'all, cook a lot, know that you have to be careful using cutting jalapeno because it can be really hot, and I have done so many things like touching my eyes, touching my lips, everything. So be careful when you're cutting the jalapeno. I'm actually going to leave some of the seeds in so we can get the spice that we're looking for. I'm also going to add, which I have forgot in the initial instructions, I'm going to add a teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay, now, this was a very small jalapeno, and I've cut a little more than half. But you know how when you cut into a jalapeno, I know most of you that cook a lot would know this, but when you cut into a jalapeno and it's hot, you can immediately tell because it gives off like a fume, a heat. I don't know how to explain it, but this is a hot one. So I thought about maybe cutting up the whole jalapeno because it was small, but no, we're not. We're going to just use this much, and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and we are going to be ready to cook this down. We have everything incorporated into the cranberries. Like I said, there are some that have thawed out, and then we have some fresh ones. These fresh ones, when they start to cook, they will pop. Don't be alarmed. That's going to happen. You're just going to let this cook down. We're going to come back in a few minutes, maybe about 10 minutes, and I'm going to show you what's going to happen. We have this on a medium-high heat. You don't want it on a high heat. You don't want it on low heat unless you want to take forever. So medium-high heat, and we're going to incorporate this all together. And we have, I've used this before in many of my videos, we have an old-fashioned potato masher. And as these cook, we're going to mash this down with the potato masher. We don't want it fine like the apple butter. We want it to be chunky. Okay, that's at least that's how we're making it. You could make it fine if you'd like. Some people also add gelatin to firm theirs up, like the kind that you buy in the can, etc. But we are not doing that. This is all fresh, and that's how we want to keep it. So we're going to come back in a few minutes, and we're going to show you what happens in about 10 minutes of cooking time. This is about 10 minutes, and you're just going to use that masher. Some of the ones that were frozen and thawed out are already pretty soft. This is 10 minutes of cook time. You're going to continue cooking until all these pop. I've been listening to them pop, so you can hear them. The fresh ones will pop. I'm not sure the ones that I froze are going to pop because they were thawed out. They're pretty soft. Let's see how that looks. Oh my gosh, y'all, that looks so good. Steam's coming off there. Let that cook down. And I'm gonna let it cook down another 20 minutes and I'll be back. This is almost done. You can see there's still some chunky cranberries in there. We're gonna continue to mash that down, but you see how thick that is? That's from the sugar and the pectin and the cranberries. It's automatically pretty thick. I love how that looks. Oh my gosh, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and continue mashing these up, and that's it. I'll go ahead and I'll put those ingredients that you need in the comments. If you have any favorite recipes, please share. I would enjoy seeing that, especially the older ones. Isn't it funny how some of the older ones are really neat? Well, I appreciate y'all watching today. Thanks so much for stopping by Mom's Cherished Home. Please give us a thumbs up or like this video if you enjoyed it. And subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.